And we are back. How is everybody doing out there today? So, today on the podcast, we have a cool little guest we met over here at the city council meeting. And on my right is Steve Young. You have been walking across America. That is amazing. He showed me some of the stuff on his right. There is a backpack, and I don't know if you guys can see this, guys, but how much does it weigh?
80 pounds.
80 pounds that you have. And guys, this is not no little backpack. This is a giant backpack, and he has carried this thing all the way across America. And what has got you started doing this?
Well, I'm out here walking for a sick and terminally ill children's camp, a special needs camp where these kids can go. They get away from doctors, they get away from hospitals, and just be kids for a change.
That's awesome. So what got you how did you end up meeting these people in this hospital?
Well, this is a camp where the Petties of NASCAR started. You started hearing about the camp back in 2000. So this is Kyle Petty's camp, Victory Junction. Kyle had a son named Adam. And I'll do a short bio I'll share with you.
Yeah.
In '99, Kyle and Adam were coming back from Daytona, the race down there, on motorcycles. And in Central Florida near Orlando, there's a camp called Boggy Creek. And they had found out about this camp, and they wanted to stop and see what this camp was like, what it was all about. And I'll even back up a little farther. When Adam was 9, 10, 11, and it's just something to think about. When he was 9, 10, 11, he'd ask Mom and Dad, Kyle and Patty Petty, to take him to hospitals, to pediatric wards. Could you imagine that? A little boy wanting to go visit children, sick children at a hospital to brighten their day.
That's awesome.
Well, that's what he was doing. And when he started his racing career, they would go to a new track, like Kentucky's track, and they would go and visit hospitals. It was just something that carried over. But they lost Adam Petty in 2000. So you started hearing about the camp in February of 2000 at Daytona. They started talking about wanting to do this camp, and you'd hear about it, in interviews with Adam and or Kyle. And in May of 2000, they went to New Hampshire, and Adam went out to do some practice laps, and he hit the turn 3 wall, and he died instantly from an injury. And after getting past mourning and dealing with losing Adam, they decided to carry on his wishes, his dreams. And in 2001, you started to hear about the camp. Mm-hmm. And in 2004, when the camp was finally built and they opened it, it became Victory Junction.
Victory Junction.
In honor of Adam Petty. So everybody knows Richard Petty. For any NASCAR fans, everybody knows Kyle Petty. He does radio and TV interviews, TV work. And but it's just a wonderful camp for these kids.
And what does it do? Is it just housing? Like they basically just house terminally ill children?
No, these kids, they come for a week or 2 weeks, and there's archery. There's a huge pool. It's situated on 84 acres.
Wow.
horseback riding,
Oh, that's awesome.
zip line, a lot of things. Okay, so some of the kids that might come to this camp
Hmm.
are in wheelchairs.
Right.
So they're limited as to what they're able to do.
Hmm.
But, there's things that kids, of course, like to do,
Hmm.
um, would like to try. Maybe some things they never thought they would do.
Yeah.
Well, this camp provides them that chance.
Man, that's amazing. That really is. So what got you on this walk?
Well, okay, so right now,
Hmm.
as we sit here, I'm 69 years old,
Hmm.
and I have a sister that's a year younger than I am. Well, we grew up with a girl, Lori Ford, that had birth defects. Very little bit of a thumb to think of. Very little bit of a pinky. No middle fingers. Her feet were real small. No toes. She's the inspiration for what I'm doing now. We grew up. Okay, so elementary school.
Hmm.
Children picking on children that
Hmm.
maybe look like her or for
Right.
whatever reason. Well, if we were around her, she wouldn't yell at well, she would, but first, if we tried to stick up for her, she'd yell at us with a very loud voice.
Yeah.
Back off, I'll handle this. And I'm talking not a low voice, a really loud voice
Mhm.
for us to back off. But she'd say, back off, I'll handle this. And then she'd tear into whoever it was.
Yeah.
So she wanted to live her life as normal as possible. So that's been the inspiration through the years. Not to pat myself on the back. Let's say maybe I see a child in a fast food restaurant in a wheelchair.
Mhm.
I'm on my hands and knees, eye level with them instead of talking down to them.
Right.
I'm just with permission from their parents,
Hmm.
I'm talking to them,
Hmm.
just getting to know them. So that's something that's just stayed with me. And then when I started hearing about what Adam was doing at his young age of,
Hmm.
little boy, and then hearing about the camp, knowing about the camp, I just thought, well, maybe I can do something for the kids, help the camp. So, prompting from the Lord, I walked out my front door, and I'm here in Asheville, Kentucky now.
Ashland is one of the yeah
Ashland, Kentucky.
Ashland, Kentucky.
I've been in so many cities and towns.
You have walked across the U.S. That is just immense. I mean, how many news reports do you think you've witnessed
Oh,
because of this?
I don't know the big number. I've lost count of much of what I've been able to do, and I've gotten feedback from the camp, so I am making a difference. I just recently, this past weekend, I was in Belmont,
Belmont.
West Virginia,
Hmm.
and I was there for the weekend to go to church, and a deacon and his wife, they have a Airbnb, a cabin,
Yeah.
out in the middle of nowhere. They put me in the Airbnb for 3 days,
Oh, that's awesome.
free of charge. Um,
That is very cool.
but I've experienced a lot.
Hmm.
I've been truly blessed. I'm blessed to be able to sit here and do this with you
Yeah.
and share with people.
I love the fact that there is still kind of the hospitality to be able to go across the country like that still.
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah, I've experienced so much out here on purpose. I've been to over 800 city halls and police departments. That way they know who I am, what I'm doing,
Yeah.
and I just share with them and try and find out where I can set a tent up when I need to,
hmm
and go to church on Wednesdays and Sundays. I'll try and find a church to go to. But I've met some wonderful mayors, police chiefs, police officers
Yeah.
all over this country. 42 states I've been in.
Wow. That's wild. How many miles would you say that you've walked?
Oh, well over 20,000.
That's wild.
I had
man.
a police chief just recently said, when I was sharing with him what kind of direction I was going in, he says,
Mhm.
"Oh, you're crisscrossing the country now." So I've walked the outside edge, um, going to California,
Mhm.
and then coming back. And I've taken 3 breaks at home. I've gone home 3 times and I've come back out. A year and a half worth of breaks. But I've been over to the East Coast, Vermont, New Hampshire, Maine, those states over there, Connecticut, all. Um, but yeah, 42 states, and I'm not done yet.
That is wild. I that's amazing. I mean, I've done a lot to try to help the community, but never have I ever thought to myself, I am going to walk across the United States of
Mhm.
America to try to like get attention to a cause. That is amazing. Um, is there a place where people can donate to this camp or?
Yes, victoryjunction.org is the camp website, and there's a mailing address. Uh, I actually know it by heart. Um, 4500 Adams Way, Randleman, North Carolina, 27317 is the zip code, but that's the physical mailing address. And I know the bio on the camp frontwards and backwards. I share with people, and I've shared so many stories of my travels, so much so that I'm 82 chapters, actually 86. I'm actually working on 4 chapters right now, but 82 chapters done about my travels, and I get to meet wonderful people like you.
That's awesome.
So,
I just find that amazing. Like,
I get to share you with America.
yeah,
We're
that
doing
is,
what we're doing right now,
yeah,
but through my book, I get to share people, places, and things with America.
that is amazing.
I get to share Ashland,
Yeah.
not Asheville.
That's great.
I've been in a couple Asheville's, and I've been in.
Yeah.
I was actually in Ashland, Ohio,
Yeah.
and I had a police chief and a police officer treat me very well there.
Yeah.
But that's another story for
Yeah.
You'll have to go to Walmart or some bookstore to find a book. I actually, I like reading myself, so I'm actually reading several books at libraries as I stop and just get some rest and enjoy doing that.
Nice.
I actually ask them how the process of maybe having one of my books sitting on a shelf in their library. So that's a kind of an interesting thing.
Most nowadays, everything is Amazon or
Yeah,
yeah.
yeah.
They've got a lot of
Yeah, I always tell
sway
people
in the distribution.
Walmart, Target, any bookstore, and Amazon. Of course, that's how
Yeah.
Amazon started.
Yeah.
Was selling used
Selling
books.
books. Yeah.
Yeah.
My buddy, he is Josh on his 5th book. Is that what he said he was? I think it was 5. So 5 children's books is
Wow,
what
I love
he's
that.
written, and I think that's amazing.
Yeah.
Like,
And with the amount of chapters I have done already, it's actually, I think by the time I am done,
mhm.
I'm going to break it down. I'm going to do 3 books. So one book, and I'm going to do it in such a way. I have lists in the back of the book,
Mhm.
actually, that almost like a travel guide. I got campgrounds I've enjoyed being at, and we're nice campgrounds. Kind of a funny thing, but it's just me. I'm a pizza guy. Now I won't list Domino's and Papa John's or any of the
Yeah.
franchise pizza places, but a mom and pop pizza place. If I like their pizza,
Yeah.
I go in the back and you'll see a list of
That is really
mom and
cool.
pop pizza
See,
places.
I love that. You're right up the right alley for that.
Yeah.
I think that's an amazing thing to do. That's what we do here.
Yeah.
I try to stress that, the American people are strong, and we have so many businesses that thrive when people invest in them.
Yes.
And
Yeah.
unfortunately, we spend far too much time on these big box companies and
Yes,
corporations,
and the fast food places.
and we don't need them. We do not need them.
No, it's changed our way of living,
Yeah.
our way of thinking about things. We are a fast food
Yeah.
society now,
Yep.
so to
Everything
speak.
is got to be done now.
Yep. In and out, and keep on doing whatever it is we're doing, and we've lost sight of how our country has evolved
Mhm.
and come along. It all was on the backs of hardworking mom and pop,
Yep.
doing
100%.
what they did, and to where we're at now.
100%.
Without them, we wouldn't be the country we are.
Exactly. I think that's a lesson that soon, I think, unfortunately, it may be too late to return back to some of those values.
Yeah.
We have
I hope not, but yeah, I think you're right.
one of our sponsors is Crisps. It's a Crisp Dairy Treat. It's right down the road right here.
Okay.
And it's one of the last surviving mom and pop ran generational family business. I mean, how many generations is that? 3? Yeah, so 65
Wow.
years this place
Yeah.
has been in there, and that's
Yeah.
amazing. It's four generations. You do not see that anymore,
No, you don't.
and that's
Even like where I grew up in South Florida,
mhm.
in the 70s, you started to see that. Well, like, our little mom and pop grocery store and drugstore in the little area of North Miami where I lived. The drugstore,
Mhm.
when and Eckerd's, now CVS, who bought them, Eckerd's,
Mhm.
moved in, opened up. You seen a lot, and it was from the pharmacy. The guys who ran the pharmacy would talk about they're taking our business, so they got out of it,
Mhm.
and they figured they better go work for Eckerd's or some
That's-
other
It's wild.
large box store. So
I'm truly blown away by commerce these days and how businesses are run. This happens to be my third attempt at a business that I'm running right now.
yeah,
My first was woodworking, which is you can kind of see all of my woodworking
yeah, I was looking at
I've done.
amazing.
It's one thing to make a product; it's a whole nother monster to try to sell it.
Yeah, to market it and
Right.
sell.
It
Yeah.
is. It is difficult, and
Yeah, yeah. We have forgotten where we came from.
yeah,
Um, that's something that I've enjoyed out
Mhm.
here. I have a big interest in our history, American history,
love that.
and something that I've enjoyed as I've gone along. I've been to several hundred museums,
Hmm.
and those all, of course, tell a story. And sometimes it's a regional or a city themed museum,
Yeah.
where you're at, and you get a good feel for what we were like way back when we first started as a country.
Yeah.
You see a lot of things and you get a better understanding of who we are as a country and where we came from.
Yeah.
That's something I've really enjoyed. You'd think I walk enough, but
Mhm.
I actually walk historic house tours minus my 80-pound backpack.
Wow.
But I've also been to way too many Civil War and Revolutionary War battlefields. And two largest Civil War battlefields I've been to is Gettysburg and Shiloh, Tennessee.
Yeah.
I've been to both of those, and luckily for me, I met the right person at that time when I was in the area. They were able to take me through those battlefields and share the history, from out of their mind,
Mhm.
just knowing where they were and what was there and what happened. And, that was a great benefit, a true blessing for me was to be able to enjoy that. But, I've, each town,
Mhm.
that's what's interesting. And writing this book, that's actually part of what I share, is the history of the area where I'm at.
Nice.
I kind of added that to it, because I can own, you can you can only talk about so much about, oh, I met this person, I met
Mhm.
that person, and this is the town that I was in, and
Right.
that gets kind of boring.
Mhm.
People, well,
Surface
yeah,
conversations. Yeah.
read one chapter or two chapters, and then
And they're
go,
just done.
that's kind of the same thing,
Yeah.
and then put the book on the shelf. Well,
Mhm.
I want to share enough of what I've experienced,
Mhm.
what I've seen out here, for people to go ahead and read it and learn about my experiences, and but more importantly, and that's why I'm doing the book the way I'm doing it, is to learn through me more about their wonderful, beautiful, caring, compassionate country. I think this is the most beautiful country on earth. Now, I don't have anything about people talk about, and I just met a couple that are on the way to England, I think, here in the next couple of days.
Mhm.
I met them this past weekend. But people who talk about wanting to go to Germany or
Mhm.
France or
Have you been to any other countries?
no, I
I
haven't.
haven't either. So I was
So
thinking the same thing. I was like,
yeah,
yes, this is the
uh,
most beautiful country in the world. But then I'm thinking to myself, I've never been to another
yeah.
country, so I
Well,
can't
but
quite say that. But
well, I think just because of what I've seen,
yeah.
we are all guilty of getting on the interstates,
Mm-hmm.
and we're going to Disney World or
Yeah.
Disneyland or wherever,
Mm-hmm.
and we're missing Ashland, Kentucky.
Yeah. I drove truck for quite a few years, and I've been to every state in the United States except for Alaska. And
Yeah.
it's funny because I'll have people ask me, they're like, what was your most memorable thing that you saw while you were out there? And I'm like, to be honest, most of the things that I see while I'm out there is the same highway. I
Yeah.
mean, you'll drive around, but everything looks like the same town that you just left from, or you'll go into another town, but you might see a giant ball of yarn every
Yeah, that's in Minnesota.
right. You might see a giant dinosaur that's on the side of the road. You've
Yeah.
got a spaceship. There was a bunch of random things that I saw while I was driving out there, but they're not.
I've got
Um,
pictures of all those.
yeah, they're pretty amazing
Yeah.
to see those things, and
Yeah.
it's like it's funny because that's what makes up America. To be honest,
Yeah.
those are the little tiny things that are differences between the towns that makes them so
Exactly.
unique.
You know what I really love are the towns. Now, it's hard for me to do what I'm doing going through a big city.
Mhm.
So, and I've been through some big cities, and I use city or county bus systems to get me through them from one side to the other.
Mhm.
Long story, I'm not to bore you with, but um, when I'm in a town that has a town square,
Mm.
I mean that just says, America. That
Yeah,
says
it's just
good
small
old
town. Yeah, yeah,
town America.
yeah.
It just shows you so much. That was the where everybody went. You know,
Yep.
and I have over 7,000 pictures taken, and I like taking pictures of old ornate courthouses.
That's cool.
Yeah.
Yeah. When you went today, when you were at the city meeting today, was everybody friendly with you? And
Yeah, they were. And I met the mayor's secretary, and I was
Peggy,
outside looking in, and knowing what I was doing. She said, "Well,
she's a
why
sweetheart.
don't you just go in and share with everybody?"
Mm-hmm.
And I just thought to myself, me go in and share with them. In the middle of, she said, "Yeah, go in and
That's how
share
our
with
town
everybody."
is. I love it.
So when they were, I guess that the for the public to
Mm-hmm.
uh, want to ask a question or just share with them something that they
That's it.
are passionate about, like the pastor from that church.
Yeah.
I thought, well, okay, well, there's an area that maybe I'll be able to do that. Because what I was really going to do is just wait until the end and try and catch up with the mayor, hand them
Mhm.
off one of the printouts I give them, and just go from there.
Yeah.
But, okay. Well, I raised my hand, and they said, come on up. And I went up there with my Indiana Jones hat, or Josh Gates from Expeditions Unknown I think it's on Discovery. But anyway, he has a hat like mine. But
Old
I
Dale Earnhart. That's what
yeah,
I think of when
yeah.
I see that.
So going up and sharing just for a few moments what I was doing,
Mm-hmm.
it just kind of got done what I wanted to do. More people knew, and
Yeah.
I'm now sitting doing my second podcast, which I really appreciate, and
It's awesome.
I just think it's such a neat thing, a neat way of communicating with
Mhm.
people.
I love it.
That we're able to do now. You know, uh, me growing up, and I've shared with you a couple times that I've said dinosaur. Well, that's me. I don't know a whole lot about technology. And me and my sister, my two older brothers were that before we came along. We're old enough, but,
Mhm.
3 channels on the TV, and me and my sister were the channel changers
Yep.
to where we're at now.
Yep. Three. What was it? 3, 8, and 13. Yeah. It
Yeah,
was like
us
those were
was,
the. Yeah. Then we got 11 and added a
yeah,
couple more.
yeah,
Yeah.
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 But yeah, us 4, 7, and 10 were the channels.
4, 7, and 10.
Yep.
Yeah.
CBS, NBC, and
Yeah.
ABC.
And
Yep.
and it's funny because when I first started this, I actually thought about getting into radio
Yeah.
because I always loved.
Oh, you got a great voice for
Thank
that.
you. That's what I was going to say. Was I love the
But
voice part
jokingly,
of it.
me doing TV interviews, and I joke with people when I have done these, I'll ask them, how much is that camera? And
Yeah.
they'll tell me, 15, 20, whatever, $1,000. I go,
Yeah.
do you really want to take my picture with that?
So with everything that's going on now in social media, it all travels so fast that radio has kind of become taken back seat,
Yeah,
and
in a sense, it really has.
yeah,
And
TV as well too.
yeah, we really have come a long way. Well, what in the early to mid '80s, we had CDs
Yep.
that you can, from
Mhm. So 8-track
cassettes,
probably first.
and then 8 tracks
Yeah,
before that,
yeah,
and of course vinyl.
vinyl.
Which kind of interesting about, because I even was watching TV last night. I stayed at a motel last night,
Mhm.
but they were actually. Oh, it was I was watching American Pickers, one of my
Mhm.
favorite shows,
Yeah, I love that.
and Mike.
We had them here in our town for a while.
Wow,
Used to have a little thing here.
yeah, but he found some records sitting in some boxes, and they were just talking about how they're coming back around again,
Mhm.
and they are.
Yeah.
People are going out and purchasing records again.
Mhm.
Pretty interesting.
Yeah, I love that.
But I guess with the upgraded technology to be able to listen to them is probably a lot better. But yeah, it's amazing. Me at my age, to see the transformation of information. Like even before I was born, it sometimes might took a couple of weeks to get information about something.
Yeah.
Now it's instantaneous,
Instantaneous.
24/7,
Yeah.
365. If you want to know about something, well, turn on your
Yeah.
laptop or
Your cell phone.
cell phone,
Yeah.
and there it is.
Now I see that that's a good thing and a bad thing all in the same sentence. It's good because now we can get help and we can send help to people instantaneously.
Yes.
But the bad part of that is that we've never really needed 24-hour a day news. And I think that there's a lot of people, because they've decided to do this format at 24-hour a day news, they want to fill it with anything that seems catchy or buzzworthy,
Yeah.
and they're just filling it with garbage.
Yeah.
And that's the
we
problem.
do get a lot of that. And I guess you got to kind of govern yourself when it comes to what you take in.
Yes, 100%.
Yes. I've heard that listen or believe 10% of what you see.
Yep.
So it's kind of interesting.
I was told you've been given 2 ears, 2 eyes, and only 1 mouth. So you should use them in accordance. So listen twice as hard. Make sure you pay attention and look twice as hard, but only speak when you need to once.
Yeah, that I like. And that makes a lot of sense too when you think about it like that. But yeah, it is what it is, and to make use of it in such a constructive way, is also helpful. But to abuse it and use social media or just news related telecasts, to have an agenda and cause dissension among people. That's destructive, and it's so far away from what our founding fathers thought. We ran away from England and Europe, mainly England, for a reason, a purpose.
Yeah.
You know, we wanted to free ourselves from those bonds
Overtaxation.
and yep,
Overtaxation. Definitely
without
like
representation.
right. And
Yeah.
and I
So
still feel like I think we're worse off now than we were back then, to be honest, when
yeah,
it comes to that part.
in a sense, we are.
Yeah.
I mean, we we've come a long way.
Yeah.
Um,
But they've learned to abuse it again.
yeah.
That's the problem.
Well, when you have
Power.
people in
It always-
power,
yeah,
political,
always corrupts.
where they've made it a career
Yeah.
instead and forgot what it was all about.
Yeah.
You know, that's
The reason I love so here recently, I have been going to these city council meetings, and I've been able to sit in on some of these big details that they're doing right now. I love it because I've always heard that power corrupts absolutely, and that most people that are in power are not genuinely looking out for the best interests of the people. But
Yeah.
here, man, listen, I've been there. I've actually met these men and women, and they are amazing. The people that are over there that are working for Ashland are actually amazing. And it drives me nuts when I see people kind of bash on them, and they haven't been out there to see the quality of work that these men and women are actually putting in.
Yeah, and this is the third time that I've actually sat in on a
Council meeting,
city
city meeting.
council meeting.
Yeah.
And kind of interesting to listen, and then I get a good idea of what the town is like. The first one I did, and it's a mayor that I actually I was sharing with you earlier about the mayor.
The mayor of America, you
yeah.
said. I like that.
Don't get me in trouble.
No, that was a good.
Yeah.
I like that.
Glencoe, Kentucky, and Mark Wilson. He says, "Oh, I want you to come in and meet everybody and share with them when you can." But
and that was in Kentucky, you said?
Yeah, Glencoe, Kentucky.
There we go.
Almost directly across from Cincinnati, and it's a couple of miles off of the Ohio River.
That's really cool.
But I met him. But yeah, he had me come and share. And then I was in I forget the name of the town. I was in a little town in Indiana, and I was able to sit in on a council meeting. That was pretty interesting.
Yeah, I think that's awesome.
Hartford City.
Hartford City.
It just came to me. Hartford City, Indiana, and I was able to sit in on a council meeting.
What is the nicest town you've ever been to? That kind of has just been like the most amazing thing you've ever seen.
Oh, well, that's kind of interesting question. Okay, so again, back to this book, it's a narrative chapter. It's called Home Sweet Home. Okay, and this is for somebody that might be traveling.
Yeah.
And again, off the interstate, and they're traveling through these towns as they go along. And they come into a town, and I have criteria for what I'm going to share with you. But, they come into these towns, and the town is, the storefronts are filled with businesses.
Right.
It's nice and clean, really nice looking
Happy,
streets
happy
and
people,
sidewalks.
You can tell
Yeah,
friendly.
and the nice people.
Yeah.
And you go, boy, I'd sure like to live here. I'd like to move here. So that's kind of like what I thought about as I've gone along. I'll come into this town, and do just that. I go, I'd sure like to live here.
Yeah.
And it's criteria. What I just shared with you is a clean town. They have pride and no trash all over.
Right.
And the storefronts, there's businesses, so somebody has done a lot of work to make sure that that's done. And then the people you meet.
So what's been the nicest town?
That's a hard question.
For me, it was Flagstaff, Arizona, and then here.
Yeah.
Those are my two big ones that I loved.
Well, Union, West Virginia sticks out one.
Union, West Virginia.
Boone, North Carolina. There's been several, but in a sense, it really is hard to like pinpoint one. And I don't know if so if I was to do that, maybe I just did.
Yeah.
Go, I'm not reading his book.
Yeah.
He didn't like my town.
No, it's totally fair to have a good opinion.
Yeah.
I love that.
But yeah, that's Well, that's why
Yeah.
what I've done, I don't know,
Because
two or
people want to
three,
know. I mean, especially
four
considering
towns.
how far you've walked.
3 or 4 towns
Mm-hmm.
so far for the states I've been in. I've listed.
Yeah, that's awesome.
So you'll read the little narrative chapter, just talking about things. Again, we're passing through on the way to someplace, Disney World or whatever it is, and that's kind of like what you would do. Oh, I'd love to live here,
Yeah,
and that's why.
I hit an elk, and
Where was that?
this was in Arizona.
I was gonna say out there somewhere.
Yeah, so Flagstaff, Arizona. I had never been anywhere near an elk. I had never seen one before,
Yeah, that's me.
and
Until
it walked across a 5-lane highway,
wow.
and I didn't see it coming, and it jumped across right in front of my semi.
Oh wow.
And first time I ever seen one, I hit and killed it instantly, and that was one of the scariest moments I ever had.
Yeah.
I had a student with me. I was, I used to teach people how to be truck drivers,
Yeah.
and my student was with me. We hit this elk. Thank God I was driving. No real damage to
the truck.
anybody else. The
Yeah.
truck was just destroyed.
What?
Which was
considering how big elks are.
Listen, I'm in a semi and I'm looking this thing in the eye.
Wow.
And yeah.
Wow. Yeah.
So this thing was gigantic, and everybody.
Yeah, they are.
It was the funniest story because everybody kept asking me when they came up. I'm kind of nervous, because just had this traumatic event, and I'm more worried about my student than anything else. And everybody's asking me, they're like, "Did you cut its horns off?" And I'm like, "No, I didn't." So then the police pull up, and the ambulance shows up, and they're like, "Hey, is everybody all right?" We're like, "Yeah, we're doing okay."
Yeah.
But did you cut the antlers off? And I'm, no, I didn't. So then, the police officer comes up. What happened? And I'm like, it literally jumped out in front of the truck.
Especially the size of the highway that you were on.
Exactly. So just walked
having
right
that
out.
happen. Yeah.
Didn't care. Just walked right out in front of the truck. And then we have these cameras inside that record an accident that happens.
Yeah.
I had slowed down just enough to where I almost didn't hit it.
Yeah.
And but I can't swerve. If you swerve, you're done.
Yeah.
You might end up killing somebody beside you, or
losing the trailer.
right. So you have to hit it, and it broke my heart to have to slow down, but to hit it. And they said the cameras acknowledged the hit, but they did not acknowledge the impact. Which they were like, that's so insane. You slowed down that much that quick. But the police officer goes, "But did you cut off the antlers?" And I'm like, no, I didn't. So then the tow truck guy comes up. He's like trying to see if we can move the truck out of the way.
Yeah.
And he didn't even ask a question. He cut them antlers off and then handed them to me.
Oh wow.
He was like, "You got to make sure you keep these." I'm like, "What is with everybody in these antlers?"
It must be it's got to be like a regionally big
just
thing
a fun
for it.
Yeah, that's what he said. He said it happens all the time. The antlers went through the side of the truck.
Oh wow.
Like Freddy Krueger claws.
Yeah.
I mean, it just tore through the side of my truck like it was toilet paper.
I've kind of a gruesome thing, but it's something that some states don't seem to do much with is what I call roadkill. Everybody calls roadkill.
That's what the guy said. He was going to eat it.
Yeah. Well, okay, so in reference to what you were just saying, I wondered when I was first starting out and I was seeing some roadkill on the side of the roads. I've seen all kinds, including an elk in Montana.
Yeah.
Is there any such thing as recipes? And what I thought about was one of our all-time favorite old TV shows, Beverly Hillbillies, where Grandma would say to Jethro, "Go get the truck and the shovel. We're going out and getting some possum." You know. So anyway, I was wondering about whether there's any such thing as recipes.
Roadkill recipes.
Yes.
That would be an interesting book right there.
Well,
that would be.
Hey, okay. So I went to a library and checked on the internet. And there's tens of thousands of sites where they have recipes for so many different things. And they actually have books on the shelves about all of that.
Oh, man.
So in reference to doing this book, another list and a fun narrative chapter, the chapter name is Granny's Roadkill Stew.
That's funny.
And I have about 15
Yeah.
recipes listed, and of
That's
course
great.
in the back of the book, and everything from quail to deer.
That's awesome.
And I even used, instead of beef stew,
Mm-hmm.
I made it possum stew. I did a recipe
awesome.
myself for the book.
Yeah.
But yes, depends on what state, you'll see unfortunately a
Yeah.
lot of roadkill on the side of the road.
It is bad. The shout out to the tow truck driver, because he he didn't let a minute go to waste. He hacked those
Oh,
antlers off, and
yeah.
then after he drove us over, he had loaded the deer onto the back of his
Oh, yeah.
on his truck right then
Yeah.
and there. And he was like, "I'm not going to let this go to waste." And he literally said his brother or somebody butchers the yeah.
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 What I find strange, you'll sometimes see,
Mm-hmm.
not to be so gruesome, but you'll see blood stains in the street.
Yeah.
But
It's normally
majority of the time, what you see
Mm-hmm.
is the roadkill so neatly placed or on the side of the road.
Yeah.
And I thought, how do they get there?
Yeah.
So there's either been calls and a police officer or somebody
Mm-hmm.
is pulling them, I imagine, off
to
the
the
side of the
side.
road
Yeah.
and leaving them there,
Yeah.
because I've never actually seen a body of a animal in the road.
Yeah, shout out to the police officers, because I have seen them literally get out of a car, turn their lights on, and then commence to pulling a deer
Yeah,
out of
so
the side
that's
of the street. Yeah,
yeah, because I've never seen it. So,
that's dangerous too, because
Well-
people don't see it sometimes.
well, something completely different when you just use that word dangerous.
Mm-hmm.
And you being a former trucker,
Yeah.
well, you guys, 2 different times, luckily
Mm-hmm.
far enough distance away, a blown tire. It sounds like a bomb.
It's like
Quite literally,
yeah.
a bomb
Yeah.
going off. And 2 times, probably a couple thousand feet away, but close enough for me to jump out of my 80-pound backpack.
yeah,
That scared me so much
It's
because of how
terrifying.
loud it was.
yeah, it's terrifying.
And I've talked to truckers that sometimes either you don't hear it
yeah.
or you don't care and you keep on going.
So there is really horrible drivers out there. And
Yeah.
I will say that because I used to train people to drive truck,
Yeah.
and we have what's called a pre-trip and a post-trip.
Uh-huh.
And if you're not doing that, you are a horrible trucker and you need to stop.
Yeah.
And we see people that will come straight off the lot with a trailer that's missing 2
Yep.
wheels,
Yeah.
and they'll still drive it right off the lot. And I'm like, are you kidding me right now?
2 different times now. The first time it happened to me, it was about 1,000 foot behind me.
Yeah.
And I dropped my backpack and turned around and walked back because there was large pieces of the
Yeah.
carcass of the tire
Sitting out
in
there.
the road.
Yeah.
So I went back and I pulled all of it out of the road for everybody.
Black Mambas.
But yeah, the second time wasn't as bad. There was most of it kind of the carcass
Stayed with
rolled
the
off
tire.
onto the side of the road. There was just pieces, but I
Mhm.
kept on going.
Yeah.
But 2 different times
Yeah.
that I've almost jumped out of my backpack
Yeah, it's
because of
terrifying.
how loud.
Yeah, we had a blown tire once. Out of all the miles, I mean, I've driven all over. I had one blown tire, and I don't know how somebody could not hear that. I don't care what you're doing, you're going to hear that. I mean, it was the loudest thing ever.
Yeah.
I pulled over immediately. I mean, the truck, it jerked and jolted.
Yeah, and that's often what I wonder. What truckers actually? I guess it depends on where. Well,
What tire?
Yeah, on the trailer.
If it's your steer tires, you're really going to notice that one.
Yeah.
And that'll terrify
Yeah.
you. And that's what mine was. And then, but if it's one of your drives, you might, I would say you probably would feel that one
Yeah,
for sure. But like I said, mine was a steer tire, and it was terrifying.
yeah, it was ready to
Yeah,
do exactly what you
was,
did.
It was giving
stop
me the
and
buck.
get
Yeah, it was,
yeah, get off the road.
Yeah.
A third time that I seen a truck going by and was on the tractor itself, and one of the back tires it was still on the wheel, but it was the wheel was hitting the ground too, but he was actually getting off of the road and going down a exit area.
Oh yeah.
But anyway, yeah, it's
Yeah, they have those little mounds that we have to use if our brakes go out. So you have to roll off to the side. Yeah, those are.
Yeah, the emergency truck stops.
Yeah. Thankfully, I never had anything like that.
Yeah.
I've always used. I'll go down to a lower gear, and then I try not to use my Jake brake unless it's like absolutely,
In reference to Jake brakes, that's something else that scares
it'll
me
scare
to
the crap
death.
out of you. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Especially if you're in a town and it's like
Yeah, and some of the towns have ordinances. You're not allowed
to use them, but
Yeah.
nobody cares. They just
Yeah.
whip them suckers right
Yeah.
on and just, it just retards the engine and you'll just.
I'll share real quick. I was in so I spent almost 3 months in Iowa.
Mhm.
I did a big square, big circle, whatever, how you want to think of it.
Yeah.
I come from Keokuk to Clarinda on Route 2, and I got to Clarinda, and I stayed at a motel a couple nights, and it fell into the weekend. But anyway, I got there Thursday,
Mhm.
and I stayed Thursday and Friday, and I thought about Friday being there that I could figure out how to stop and go to church. Anyways, I was coming back from a grocery store and I had bags in my hand, and this young man stopped and asked if I wanted to ride. I said, well, I was just a short distance from the motel from where the grocery store was.
Yeah.
I said, well, no, I'm just going over. Oh, I'll get you over there. Well, I met Cam Harstack, and he owns a trucking company, and he picks up cattle and hogs, transfers them to wherever they're going. And I actually rode with him on a Saturday and just making rounds. He had to go make rounds and do things, and I just hung out with him.
Mhm.
And ended up shutting down, going to church. He actually put me out of his pocket in Saturday and Sunday. Out of his pocket, he covered my stay.
That's wild.
And just getting to know him and go to his church. And he's also an auctioneer, and his family owns large pieces of land, cattle ranch.
Mhm.
But okay, so I left Clarinda, and I was going up Route 71 north,
Mhm.
and almost 3 weeks later, now he says he goes up 71 going to where he goes. So I kind of just hinted at something there.
Mhm.
So almost 3 weeks later, I is a town called Storm Lake, and it was 3 miles in to where I was able to find a Quality Inn motel, and I stayed there, and I came the 3 miles back out to 71,
Mhm.
and I dropped my backpack to rest from the walk out, and a sheriff's deputy stopped, and they'll stop and ask, you okay, you need anything, and I talked to him for about 15 minutes or so. And he's getting ready to leave,
Mhm.
and I wasn't paying attention, but I seen a truck go, as many do go by, but this
Mhm.
truck went by and pulled off the side of the road, and I wasn't really paying attention to it.
Yeah.
So the sheriff's deputy did a U-turn and drove away. And I had my back to the road, and I was throwing my backpack on. I just happened to look to the left, and I see somebody walking back towards me. And he was far enough down that I really couldn't recognize him until he got close enough to where he could yell and where I could hear.
Mhm.
And he says, "Hey, Steve." Well, it was Cam. Almost 3 weeks later, and 80 miles or so up the road,
That's wild.
or more, somewhere around there, 80 to 100 miles I was from where he was out of Clarinda.
Yeah.
But he seen me, stopped,
That's legit.
and was going to give me a ride to Spencer, good distance yet from where we were,
Mhm.
and my next route change. Well, I ended up riding with him to about 12 miles past Spencer, and he was going to pick up 155 hogs. So I got a chance to see how that's done. I've never seen it. I don't know if that's like an interesting thing, but anyway,
It definitely
it was
is.
kind of an interesting thing for me to see the process of how they do all that. But the whole way to pick those hogs up, he just kept on saying, I cannot believe I found you on the side of the road. And I kept on saying to him, the providence of God that we met.
Yeah.
And he, of course, coming back south, he dropped me off in Spencer where my next route changed. And he got me to the route I was using.
Mm-hmm.
And he, again, put me in a motel for 2 days. He says, I'm going to put you in 1 day, but I think you need 2 days rest. So he put me in a motel for 2 days.
That's legit.
And then I was able to continue on and make it to Emmitsburg, where I was going to end up going to church. But yeah, providence of God and all those many miles
Puts
and
you right where you
all
need to
that
be.
much more time from him.
Yeah.
And we meet again.
That's wild.
Yeah.
So, out of all the miles that you have traveled and all the places that you have been, what has been the biggest takeaway from your journey doing all of this?
Wow. And it's actually a reoccurring theme that, and I kind of touched on it a little bit earlier. We are the most caring, compassionate, loving country on earth. And without being to other countries, it's just my opinion in that, along with being the most beautiful. You know, there's certain things that of course, when you think about Europe and all that, they're hundreds and hundreds of years history, or thousands, depends on, how you look at it, that being the case. And for us only being 250 years old next year, there's things that you can see here, like say you like waterfalls. Okay, there's so many states that have beautiful waterfalls and some quite large.
Yeah.
Okay, if you like things that in reference to maybe the Grand Canyon, well, we got that.
Yeah.
But there's just different aspects, different things that pertaining to our country. Again, if we get off the interstates and go visit, get on what I call, that's what they are, U.S. roads. You got state roads, and then you got U.S. roads.
Yep.
And the oldest U.S. road in the United States, for anybody that's wondering, is U.S. Road 40. That's the oldest. But if we get on these roads, off the interstates, and go through these towns, you'd really be blessed by the things you'll see.
Yeah. I think that's
But
definitely agree.
yeah, I've been truly blessed by the people I've met out here. For a lack of a better way of expressing it, I don't bother anybody out here. But to be blessed as I have, as I've gone along, and I'm sitting in front of two blessings right now, and I'm able to do this podcast. But the two people behind one on camera and one that is here, Mike's girlfriend. You two have blessed me so much today, just by showing the interest in me and spending time with me, and then doing this podcast. And it does help me to bring awareness to this camp. And we've touched on so many different things, and I've had so much fun doing this podcast so far.
That's awesome.
That'll be something. Now, I joke with people that I'll be sitting on my front porch with a couple of marbles rolling around in my head, but I'll have all these fond memories of the experiences that I've been blessed to experience out here doing what I'm doing. And
this will be forever etched on the internet. So you'll have YouTube, Facebook, Instagram, TikTok.
Which is
Spotify.
So nice to hear, just for the fact of being able to share with everybody.
Yeah.
But I often just say, I'm just Steve from Patrick Springs, Virginia. I've experienced the social media as I have. I'll have people that are going down the road and they they pull off the side of the road and run over sometimes from the other side going the other way. Hey, can I take your picture and put you on? And then name whichever social media site,
That's awesome.
Facebook and TikTok and Instagram and
Mm-hmm.
all the others that are out there, YouTube, and
Yeah.
they'll want to share me with America. And that's why I'm doing this book. I get to share you with America.
Yeah,
You know,
that's really cool.
so it's my way of saying thank you,
Yeah.
and I appreciate the blessings, the things that people have done.
If you had
Just-
to, we appreciate it. And if you had to say one thing to anybody out there that's watching right now, what's the thing that you'd want them to know?
Wow, there's actually so many things. Thank you, America. Thank you for being who we are. This is a godly country.
Mm-hmm.
Sometimes you might not think that. You might not think in those terms, but we are. We've been blessed to be where we are, to be the country we are.
Mm-hmm.
And I just want to say thank you, America.
That's awesome. That's really cool. And one more time, what is the name of the camp that you are doing this for?
Victory Junction.
Victory Junction.
VictoryJunction.org for anybody who wants to take a look at the camp website. There are so many things for you to take a look at and enjoy. You'll have a better understanding of what the camp's all about. And watching this podcast, you'll know more about the slightly insane guy walking across the country. thanks to you.
I think
Thanks
that's
to
amazing.
Mike.
What'd you say?
Steve?
Steve Young?
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, the
Yeah.
other guy that we met today was
Oh,
Mike.
yeah.
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 I was like, where'd you get Mike from? I was
Yeah.
thinking about that.
Uh-huh.
That camp is for special needs, right?
Yes.
Any kind of special needs whatsoever? I mean,
Well,
She just asked for those who are listening that the camp was there for those who are special needs. Like,
yes. Well, there's 30 different illnesses.
mhm.
Okay, I'll just run down some of them. But burn victims come to this camp, cancer patients, neuromuscular,
Yeah.
spina bifida, sickle cell anemia, a lot of different things that these kids. Okay, so the adults that will see this
Mhm.
are going to watch this. As adults, we understand life and death. These kids,
Don't understand that.
all they want to do is go out and play.
Yeah.
And they're dealing with things that they're dealing with.
Yeah.
And they're, they're just, they're dealing with things that really, God has a plan for all of us. And it's not anything that we have to be so upset about, because if they go home, and for Christians, they understand that term,
Mhm.
they'll be in a better place. They're not suffering anymore.
Yeah.
But they they're just kids.
Mhm.
They're just kids, and this camp provides them a place to just be that,
Mhm.
kids, and go have a good time.
That's awesome.
And it's all volunteer, and they have an on-site hospital clinic, and doctors volunteer, nurses volunteer, and they go there in case there's anything that kids are dealing with. Maybe some continuous medications, or just
Mhm.
whatever it might be. Something happens there at the camp, they're there to take care of it. So
That's really awesome.
great camp.
Well, my friend, I am really appreciative of you. I think that that's an amazing adventure that you're doing. I think that's a really awesome thing that you're doing for these kids. And
Well, thank you.
hopefully we can get the word out for your story. And
Well, thank you. Hope everybody enjoys it.
Yeah.
appreciate you. I love everybody. I love you. I love you and your.
Well, we love you too, man. That's an amazing thing that you're doing.
Thank you.
So with that, I think we'll call it out. Do you want to say anything else to the people out there?
Well, anybody who has thought about maybe working with a charity that they're not working with one yet, just take a look at the camp website and see what you think. We'll answer all your questions, whatever it might be. They have, all the information right there in front of you when you go to the camp website, and make your choice. Make a child happy. Give them their dream.
That's awesome. All right, guys. Well, with that, we're going to call this one, it's a wrap. And I hope you guys go out there, take something away from this. This is the kind of dedication that I love to see right here. So with that, yeah, you guys have a happy day and Merry Christmas coming up soon. So, all right. Peace.
Hungry? Stop by Crisp Dairy Treat and try a delicious footlong and onion rings with an ice cold beverage like a pop or a milkshake. And remember, tell them we sent you.